I've been looking forward to this particular hunt for a long time. No, we're not shooting a 175-inch whitetail or a 350-inch bull elk, but we're doing something that I'm very passionate and proud of in giving back to these veterans who have served in the Canadian Forces for a number of years. And just to be a part of that for myself is an absolute privilege. Ever since I've been a part of the Veteran Hunters, when the group was founded in 2019, Todd and I have batted the idea of doing an episode together around. And you know what? For JP Hunting Adventures to step up and bring this dream of ours to fruition, I'll be forever grateful. And I know that Todd and the other veteran boys are going to remember this experience, along with myself, forever. For the first part of today's episode, we team up with Todd himself and his son, Alex, in pursuit of turkey.
So I served in the former Yugoslavia twice, Bosnia in '97, Kosovo in '99, and then was fortunate to get into Russia as a weapons inspector in 2001.
When you're overseas, I guess, how do you cope with being away from your family? What are some of the things that go over in your head while you're over there?
So I mean, it's interesting. You're away from your family, but you're with your family. So you know, through your training, you're training with your brothers. As an officer, you know, I had a platoon of 40 guys my first tour overseas, and then my second tour in Kosovo, I was responsible for over 600 guys in the field.
Wow!
And so that becomes your larger family, and you look after each other while you're over there.
I know you're open about it, and we're close. I'm just going to ask, with respect to your PTSD and what you went through overseas, what are some of the advices or tips that you can offer veterans that may be watching or listening?
You know, one of the things that was advantageous for me going through my therapy was getting my wife involved. My wife was very instrumental in me getting the right treatment that I needed. So she worked with my therapist and the doctors to basically be my honest broker, so to speak. So that it actually helped steer them towards, you know, helping me become the better me.
Sure.
So that was one piece of advice would be is that, you know, get a family member or a spouse involved as part of your treatment, and it'll actually pay you dividends down the road.
Tell me about the Veteran Hunters and what your logic behind creating that organization is or was.
So Veteran Hunters, I created the Veteran Hunters because I found that there was a gap in what was being offered for veterans in this country, and one of the biggest gaps, and I found was very therapeutic for me, was hunting, in particular bow hunting, and just getting out in the outdoors. I started the Veteran Hunters in January of 2019, and it took off last year. We facilitated hunts for 50 veterans, and this year we're on track to actually almost double that. So
wow, just absolutely fantastic. And I guess today's hunt, I mean, Alex made a great shot. You guys had to be patient. You called that turkey in right down the pipe on a string. But walk us through that play-by-play.
So that was awesome. You know, it's been fortunate. Alexander's had the opportunity to hunt with me with each of the first hunts each year with the Veteran Hunters. Last year was a snow goose hunt, and then this year doing the turkey hunt. So it's it's a special thing. Yeah, no, it was great. First time us turkey hunting. I wanted it to be a special hunt. He's graduating high school this year. He'd never called in turkey before. He was calling in the turkeys, trying to get them in. It was a fun part trying to get them, you know, separated. But they finally got an opportunity where that Tom kind of broke off from the group, and he just put in a great shot, and it was just fantastic.
Good job, bud. Yeah, awesome. You got your turkey. There we go. Your turkey. Awesome. Good job, bud. Proud of you. Proud of you.
This meant a lot for me to be able to hunt with him again this year. Get a turkey, something that's super special. We're not able to get a lot here in Alberta, so it's super proud. Alexander's been fortunate to hunt all around the world with me, and I couldn't be prouder as a father to be able to bring my son with me on this hunt.
We were sitting down here, bird comes in, waited for him to separate, and then finally just took one round and just went straight down.
When we return, myself and Brad Musselman chase turkey at JP's Hunting Adventures.
The Veteran Hunters, sponsored by Vortex Canada, Bass Pro Shops Cabela's Outdoor Farm, Tetranex Solutions, Steelhead Ventures Limited.
Brad Musselman. I gotta say, this guy's excitement level is through the roof and incredibly contagious. It's honestly refreshing to see guys like Brad and have the privilege to hunt with them, because like I said, the excitement is always second to none, and it always rubs off on everybody else.
I was always an avid hunter with my family, loved target shooting, loved being in the outdoors, period. If I could do that for a career, the infantry at the time seemed like the best opportunity I could have. I ended up serving one tour overseas, suffered a combat injury, undiagnosed for probably about 6-7 years. And basically that's kind of my driving inspiration behind it. I wanted to help people. I didn't serve with any of these gentlemen whatsoever, but we all share a common experience. Made our way into the bush, kind of cut off these Merriam turkeys before a big water area. And the hardest thing I found was being patient enough to get all the other birds out of the way versus the bird you wanted to harvest.
That's right.
Actually, funny enough, you calmed me down when I pretty much was ready to pull the trigger, and we waited that extra 10 seconds and put a good clean headshot into that turkey and harvested it. And I'm looking forward to cooking some meat for the girlfriend and the family, so.
Great shot, buddy. The stock in was more impressive. Well, host on camera, man. Myself and Brad here, my newfound friend Brad, just stalked right in on a group of about 3 or 4 toms. And we got right in, oh geez, inside 25 yards. Ever so quiet, and they started to spook a little at the end there, and we just said the one that we wanted separated himself and we let drive. Great shooting.
Thanks very much.
Freaking right.
That was a good time for sure.
Can't beat it. That's what hunting's all about. Just out here having a great time. And you know what, this hunt with the veteran hunters for me has been pretty rewarding.
You know, I've had nothing but a blast here with JP Hunting and yourself, Jordan. It's been just rifleman, awesome weekend so far. So well, let's go see my bird.
It's been pretty good weekend so far. We went back to camp, got dried up here, started a fire, and the rain finally kind of let up a bit, and we decided we're gonna take our little bit of an adventure for a turkey hunt. We got some guys calling on the other side of the property right now. We ran into the first group of turkeys, 5 or 6, and this one was just ki-eyeing away. Seemed like he was the leader, so yeah, we kind of snuck up on him there, me and Jordan, and harvested my first turkey. So pretty cool. I met Todd through a business card that was offered to me, and I connected with him last fall. And at one point, we basically got together in Bragg Creek and decided we'd go down 304, 305 scouting for some deer. And I ended up, the first time I went hunting with Todd, I ended up harvesting my first doe with a bow, and that was a pretty unforgettable moment, and ever since then we've been friends. You know, a couple weeks later I had to bring a moose to his house because I didn't have a garage, and Todd offered to give me a hand, and that seems to be the going story. Just everybody wanting to help everybody here at Veteran Hunters, and obviously we appreciate everybody like Vortex and our sponsors, First Light, Sitka, African Safari, you know, yourselves at the Rifleman, and Jeff here at JP Hunting, and we got multiple hunts going on here right now at the game ranch. We got a half a dozen veterans, and we're having a great time. These guys are feeding us great, and we're having a good laugh around the fire here, so stay tuned.
The patience pays off, and what do you know? It's another turkey on the ground for the veteran hunters at JP's Hunting Adventures. When we return, we'll team up with Mark Bilodeau in pursuit of Corsican Ram. With 2 birds now on the ground, the veterans decided to shift gears and target Corsican Ram. The shooter, Mark Bilodeau. Mark, just want to say thank you so much for joining us, my friend. First question is the hardest. Introduce yourself. I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, you know, where you've been, all the fun stuff.
Oh, I joined with the Army when I was 18 with the Vendus. It was a really good experience. We went a couple tours. I went with Cyprus and with the Vendus. And after I changed with the Air Force, and we done a mission to support Bosnia. Oh, I joined because I think I was 10. I was playing with those soldiers with the sand, and I said, I'll be a soldier. And I never stopped to do that until like I'm 54, and I didn't forget all those nice things, and that was something I knew inside me I have to be. I was in Yellowknife, and I was close to all the hunting and fishing I want. I came in Edmonton, and it was kind of, because I don't know the people and everything, and I was feeling really lonely. And I talked to Todd, and he showed me people. We go hunting together. He make me think I'm more in the group like I used to, so I'm feeling really great, and I really give him a thumbs up for everything he's doing with that. And it's so nice to meet guys and to talk about our adventures and to keep feeling we are in instead of out, you know.
And really, that's just a fantastic answer. I've been fortunate enough to know Todd for a few years now too, and I think you hit the nail on the head. He's always been about helping the group and making everybody feel, you know, like a brotherhood almost. So for you guys, you know, veterans specifically, but you know, in this case, veteran hunters, to bring everybody together in, you know, one conglomerate, one team, it's pretty incredible. Now yourself as a hunter today, you made a great shot, great play on that ram. I mean, that was pretty cool to see the excitement. Oh man, like that is what hunting's all about.
I was kind of, I don't know how to say that. That was so strong.
Just starting phase 1 of our bush push here. Mark is all set with the crossbow in the blind, and I gotta say, just being out here with these guys who've given so much and hearing their stories from their time served, it's unbelievable. And they're just so happy, myself included, to be out here enjoying this day. And it just really makes you realize what hunting's all about. With Mark positioned in the blind, Todd, Mark Mankey, and myself headed into the bush to try and direct the rams his direction. Little did we know that we were entering a full-on swamp. Thank God I actually wore boots for this hunt.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, you guys push in the right way. That was nice.
Sheep read the script, thankfully. Went right down to Brad and Alex. They pushed him right into Mark, who we think made a great shot. We're gonna go find out. He was so excited he didn't even bother to wait for the camera, which is totally okay. You gotta love seeing that excitement when you're hunting. That's what it's all about right there, baby. Let's go find our ram.
I was not thinking of any people around or anything. I was just sighting and to shoot, and those things are fast and they're moving fast. And oh, that was the first time I shot with an animal with my bow, my crossbow.
With your crossbow was your first time?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
So the first kill, it was amazing. Just to see it and to see the arrow flying and going through the animal, and you know the excitement of oh yes, that was nothing comparable with that. You arrive there waiting and looking everywhere. You don't see nothing, and he was talking with me. I said, hey man, don't say nothing. They're back on you. They were in the back, and they passed.
Take a picture for him. He's like,
yeah,
move. They're right behind you.
Genuine. That's the first word that comes to my mind when I think of a guy like Mark Bilodeau. He was sincerely so grateful and so happy to be out here hunting with our group. It was a true reminder, you know, for somebody like myself, why we do what we do. I can honestly say in the 5 or 6 years that I've been doing the hunting show, Mark's reaction and his excitement level might be at the top. And when we return, we'll sit down with Mark Mankey and talk about his turkey hunt as well as time served overseas.
Veteran Hunters, sponsored by Vortex Canada. Bass Pro Shops Cabela's Outdoor Fund, Tetranex Solutions, Steelhead Ventures Limited.
Mark Manke. This was my first time having the privilege of meeting Mark, and I gotta say, this guy does not screw around.
This is a Kel-Tec KSG, the John Wick weapon of choice. And we are going after a tom, hopefully a white one if we're lucky. And I am looking forward to it. The downside of the Kel-Tec KSG is it doesn't have an adjustable choke, which is a bit of a bummer. But get close enough, if I'm stealthy enough with my fancy cam, I think we're gonna have some luck.
Continuing our series here today with the veteran hunters, I'm joined now by Mark Manke. Mark, thanks for coming hunting with us today. Your turkey hunt was a blast. Walk us through it.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Well, everybody else was going for the dark toms, and so I thought, well, I'll do something different. I'll go for the white one. The downside being is that they're a smaller bird.
Sure.
But they're a hell of a lot harder to get up on.
Yeah.
And so what are those called? Royal palms. They're called. So I thought I got lucky right about 10 minutes in. It's like, oh, there's a couple of them right there. But as soon as I put it to the shoulder, I lost track of them. Oh, where'd they go? How does a white bird in a green forest disappear? But they did, and then we ended up swamp dogging. And I've fallen down and clamoring to get up to them. So they made me work for it. It wasn't for free, for sure. It was a little bit tougher than driving through the KFC windows. I don't want to hit the other one. Here's the hen, where's the duck? And here's the...
Coming behind her.
Yeah, right there. Goodbye. There's no way he's walking after that. I could barely see him, was right through the bush. Can't believe I'm hard made me work for that. Almost shot the second one by accident. Yeah, I had to work for it, and I'm damn glad that I did, because if it's too easy, then there's no memory there. But no, we worked for it, took a little bit of time, took some patience, but we got the job done, and it's gonna be awfully nice in the freezer.
What inspired you personally to want to get into the Canadian Forces?
Well, I was working at Tim Hortons Donuts, and I quickly realized that my life was going nowhere fast. I had to do something. And it was that simple. Some of the guys that came in on night shift, they were kind of miserable and going nowhere and bitter old men. So that's going to be me if I don't do something that's worth doing. And both my grandparents, granddads had served, and so I went in.
It was in your blood.
Yep, in I went.
You served once overseas.
I did. In the former Yugoslavia in Croatia in 1994, when it was still a pretty active place. And you never know when your time's going to come up to do one of these tours, but it was the best of times and the worst of times, you know, as these tours tend to be. The best memories that you'll ever have and the worst memories that you can't get rid of. You know, so it's both things. And unfortunately, I was injured on that tour with an OSI, operational stress injury, and that was 1994. And I've been dealing with it for 26 years.
Operation Tango Romeo, your podcast you started. What was some of the inspiration behind that?
Well, I went undiagnosed with PTSD for over 20 years. And then about 6 months into the trauma recovery path, that never ends, by the way. Oh. It's a road with no end to it. But about 6 months in, I started going to a peer support group and then started running the peer support group. And then people were asking, well, how do we capture these lessons, these important lessons that we're learning, especially if they're not able to attend 1 week? And I already had a different podcast, the Manke Show podcast. So I thought, well, shit, how hard could it be? So got a logo whipped up and made a mission statement and a vision statement, and away we went. And we're on 31 episodes so far of Operation Tango Romeo, and even had a couple celebrity guests on.
That's fantastic.
It's been fantastic, but the best part is the private, secret emails that I get from people that have read it. And it's things like, I had no idea until I listened to a few episodes. Now I was able to recognize it in myself. Because of Operation Tango Romeo, your podcast, I have reached out for help, and now I'm getting the help that I need. And I wouldn't have happened without listening to that.
I just want to tip my hat to Jeff and Peter of JP's Hunting Adventures. Ever since I've been a part of the Veteran Hunters, when the group was founded in 2019, Todd and I have batted the idea of doing an episode together around. And you know what? For JP Hunting Adventures to step up and bring this dream of ours to fruition, I'll be forever grateful. And I know that Todd and the other veteran boys are going to remember this experience, along with myself, forever. 3 turkeys, 1 ram, and one hell of a good time. You know, sometimes a young buck like me just has to jump in the shotgun seat and let a group like the veterans show me how it's done.
Jordan, a wise warrant officer, once told me that the day you stop learning is the day you die. We may be veterans, but we can always learn from a young buck like you. On behalf of the Veteran Hunters, I want to express my utmost gratitude on organizing this hunt and leading the way for us to have our own TV show after being guests on The Rifleman.